company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview.
Roach, the CEO of Premier African Minerals, joins us today following the first preliminary grade estimates from the drilling at Zulu. So hello, George. Welcome to Stockbox. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much indeed. And it's great to be chatting to you.
Indeed. Now, of course, last time when we spoke, along with Chris, your geologist, we talked about the completed 10 drill holes, and all but one had intersected mineralization. And you've completed further drill holes to date. The on-site lab, the LIBS system, was fully set up and operational, and that was to enable these preliminary analysis, which is what you have reported today. So can you tell us about these results?
I'm sure, and it's a pleasure to be able to do so. Let me say that I'm delighted at what we're looking at. What we've released today in an RNS are the preliminary results from the first of the big intersections in borehole ZDD 52, which we referred to in our previous RNS. Now, this is a continuous intersection, I think I mentioned, of 13.4 odd meters. And the average grade that we have across the entire intersection is coming in at 1.37% Li2O. Now, to achieve that average grade, basically, we've assayed every meter along that entire distance. The lowest grade that's been reported, I think, was in meters round about 54. I beg your pardon, that was the highest grade, was in meters 54. It's over 2%. And the lowest that we saw was 1%. So that an intersection with that width has come back with an average grade at 1.37%, considering that that is significantly above the average grade reported within our original resource estimate, is exceptionally good news. But even more so, that this is an intersection that is outside of the original main zone where our original resource statement was taken from. Now, to date, we've done 15 holes that are now completed and 2,700 odd meters drilled. And all but one of those additional holes has intersected good widths of pegmatite material. And all of those intersections, the bulk of those intersections, are in areas outside of the original resource estimate region. So it looks as though, to me, that our original exploration targets are showing some validity. And the fact that there is this much consistency in the drilling as we drill these step-out zones tends to support that. So I'm from the one point of view exceptionally excited about this, but from another point of view, it really is what we've been saying was there, and it's in terms of our expectations. So very, very pleased about that. I think the other thing that I should just comment on is the use of the LIBS system. And I think that what's important with this is that we are able to demonstrate repeatability when it comes to our analysis. And much of that ability comes from the care that goes into sample preparation. Now, it's one thing to say that we need to have a validation from an independent laboratory of the sample that we have tested using the LIBS system. That's fine. But more important than all of that is the fact that in the background, there is a huge amount of work being done by a skilled team that is managing the logging of core as it comes out, the splitting of core, breaking it down into just different sample materials, all the milling, all the riffling, everything else that goes with proper sample preparation, leading eventually to the fine grinding of this. And we have the laboratory mills at site, and ultimately preparing a pressed pellet that we are then able to analyze using the libs mounted in a frame to ensure there is always consistency when we measure it, and so on. So setting up all of this has taken longer than I expected, but it's been done more thoroughly than I think I could ever have asked for, and has given us a level of confidence that I think time and independent outside assays are all going to support and say that in the long term, this was the best decision we could have taken and the right way to go.
Okay. Now, how do these results compare then when it comes to lithium exploration? You've mentioned about consistency across the wide intersection. Are these economic grades?
Yes, they are. If you examine Premier's scoping study, the grade that was determined to be economical in that scoping study was 1.06%. And as I recall, we worked on a cutoff of 0.5%. Now, if I compare that to this intersection, the cutoff is the country rock where we intersect the pegmatite zone. So there's no cutoff grade applied to this. And consistently across the entire intersection, we've achieved an average grade that is 32% in round numbers, higher than the resource grade already declared. Now, I think if you have a look at some other pegmatite resources that have been declared by other companies, there are many of them there, and one can pick them up on an internet search very, very easily. I think you'll find that grades of 1.37% compare very well to the vast majority of others. Yes, there are some that are bigger, but there are a lot that aren't. So I'm very comfortable with that. In fact, I'm containing the excitement that I have that that's what we're seeing, and particularly that it's in an area that is not part of the resource statement. We forecast a huge exploration target going forward. I don't think many people took too much notice of it, but I hope they're going to start taking a bit of notice now.
Okay.
This project, I think, it's got some very long legs to it.
Okay. Well, at any moment, feel free to stand up and do a little jig. That's more than appropriate. But so your samples have gone off for more detailed analysis. And so, is the drilling program now complete? And where will the focus be while you're awaiting for the assay results?
Oh no, we're ongoing. We're working consistently. There are 2 rigs on site working. One of them is now on a 24-hour cycle. There's a third that should already have been there, but isn't, but I'm told is very close. We estimate the entire drilling program is going to run to the better part of 20,000 meters. We've only done 3,000 odd at the moment, so we've got a long way to go. Nothing is standing and waiting. In terms of independent assay by an outside laboratory, the next step in this process is that the duplicates will now be exported from Zimbabwe, and it requires a process to export them. Once they have been exported, they will be submitted to a lab of choice, and then further assay work will be done in that lab of choice. In the interim, we are proceeding, and we will continue to update the market with the results as we get them based on our LIBS system. We run continuous checks on the system. We have standard reference material with known lithium grades in it. We consistently, in fact, every 10 readings we take using the LIBS, we go back to a standard reference material to make sure that the reading's still right. So we really are going out of our way in terms of the QA/QC side of this. And we understand that we need to. I think this is a massive step forward for a smaller exploration company to be putting itself in a position where we can report this quickly and this early on results as we get them. It's common in a large mining company that they'll run their own in-house labs. It's not that common in a company of our size that we should have the expertise that we have to attend to the sample prep properly and then to be able to do what we're doing. So it just adds to the excitement that I feel about this project overall.
Okay. Well, George Roach, the CEO of Premier African Minerals, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you indeed. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this Stockbox interview. For more information, interviews and videos, visit our website at stockboxmedia.com or give us a follow on Twitter by searching @StockboxMedia.